As I was saying, yes, Pia is a wonderful, wonderful person. It's just a shame that that jail time. It's a. Oh, are we recording now? I had no idea.
Yes,
James, I didn't. Why are you talking about Pia and the goat? I mean, really, we're on the air.
She has such great stories about those prison shower rooms. I mean,
yeah. Luckily, nobody is listening to this, so we don't have to worry. Yeah, nobody's recording, right, Pia?
Nope. Especially not me. No, it's okay. People make fun of me all the time. I do.
No way. Nobody's going to make fun of you, not while the Toxic Avenger is around.
Welcome to Simply Radio. I am Pia. I'm sitting in for Mike Shelton, and today's guest is Lloyd Kaufman of Trauma Entertainment. Welcome to Simply Radio.
Well, thank you, Pia. You are the nicest person in the world, other than Phil Clarke and James.
Well, thank you.
We're here.
Well, you have a long career in the film business. Do you want to tell us about how you get started and everything you've done and what you're doing now?
Well, it all began, I made a big mistake of going to Yale University. I was going to be a teacher. It was the 60s. I was going to make the world a better place, like being a social worker or a teacher. I was going to teach people with hooks for hands how to finger paint, teach bums how to paint happy faces on beads. But tragically, at Yale University, I was put in a room. My roommate was a film nut. He was a film fanatic and ran the Yale Film Society, and my life was ruined. Our beds were in a very small bedroom, and our beds were head to toe, and at night I would inhale his Godard stinking feet, and the aroma du trauma was born. I kept going into the Yale Film Society and watching all these movies, like John Ford movies, Howard Hawks, Fritz Lang, Leni Riefenstahl, all of the movies kept blowing my mind. Stan Brakhage, Andy Warhol, and eventually I bought into the auteur theory of filmmaking, which is that the director, this was propounded by the French Cinematheque people, in the Cahiers de Cinéma, the magazine that they published, written by Chabrol and Truffaut and those guys, and I bought into all that foolishness and stayed in New York and made independent movies with nobody telling me what to do, and now I have the pleasure of living in a refrigerator box on the streets. No money, no revenue. Only Pia respects me. You're the only one. Totally ignored. Cast aside. The people who work at Trauma, they say if I get hit by a bus, then if I die, then suddenly the world will realize that Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, is a masterpiece. Well, it's my foul movement.
Well, that one did pretty well, though, Poultrygeist, didn't it?
Well, if you think that doing well is getting not 1 cent of the budget back, I guess it did. It had sort of a perfect record in a way, yes. Not 1 penny of the budget has come back to us. That's called economic blacklisting, Phil Clarke and James. James, what's your last name?
McClung.
McClung. You guys know about that, economic blacklisting. You know there's a cartel that controls the media in the world. It's a worldwide conspiracy, and you get Iron Man on 6,000 million screens, and you don't get Poultrygeist anywhere, right? That's not the way it was when Razorback was going on, when Razorback was made, or when Don's Party was made. There was something called competition. There was competition permitted, so if you had something good that was independent, you could get it to the public. Now, impossible. But luckily for Australia and New Zealand, a company called Jigsaw is going to try to relaunch the Trauma brand in Australia and New Zealand, and I'll be going there. I'll be going there toward the end of August. No, in October, sorry, in October. I think kind of mid-October. And I'll hang out at Armageddon, which is a wonderful convention, a big pop culture comic book horror convention in both, and it takes place, I believe, in Melbourne, Sydney, and Auckland. I should say Auckland first because that's A. A should come first.
But you have.
Well, you said that you couldn't get into the movie theaters. What about the home market? That seems
we got into about 300 movie theaters. We got into about 300. The problem is when Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead, which received very good reviews in the New York Times and Entertainment Weekly, and I believe pretty much every publication. It was when it opened in New York. It was the highest grossing screen in the country. Only in one theater though, but that one theater had the biggest gross of America. The highest. It made the most money for one weekend. But the problem is, then 2 weeks later, Indiana Jones Skull Effer, F-U-C, I guess you can't say the word. It wanted every screen. They had to have every screen in the world for that movie, even though it sucked. So they kicked out Poultrygeist. So as a result, we couldn't get along. That's the problem. The theaters are the vassals of the giant devil-worshipping media conglomerates. And poor little Troma gets kicked out. Luckily, we have fans who, just as you said, the fans spread the word, and then our movies are, at least because we do our own home video distribution, our fans help us out. But I can tell you that Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead, my greatest movie, after 40 years of failed filmmaking, has not yet returned 1 cent of the budget.
So what you're saying then is that it's pretty much impossible to get on the big screen, even if you're an independent, even if you have a good film, good quality film.
Well, you can get on the big screen. If I direct a movie, I can get on about 300 American screens. But even if the movie does well, the theaters will take it away because Disney or Fox or Rupert Murdoch or one of the giant conglomerates has a movie that isn't doing well that wants the screen, and it doesn't matter how well you're doing. The theater will kowtow to the big conglomerate because because they know that if they don't keep Step Up the Music, Step Up the Streets Part 2, which is a big nobody was in the theater, at least when I was there. They'll hold that movie in the theater for a third week, but then they'll kick Poultrygeist out of that same theater, even though we were doing good business. We have this is like 6 screens. Rather, if there's 6 screens and Poultrygeist is 1 or 2, they'll kick out Poultrygeist, even though it's doing better than Step Up the Streets, because that's how it works. Very bad. Very, very bad. The only way these independent movies get in any kind of decent distribution is because of they are being distributed by Sony Classics or Fox Searchlight or Village Road Show, part of Warner Brothers.
But isn't
they're a vassal of Warner Brothers, aren't they? Huh?
But isn't straight-to-video markets, is that enough to keep an independent
No,
company?
because the straight-to-video markets has been taken over by the giant devil-worshipping internet, at least in my country. I don't know how it is in Australia because we haven't had any distribution in Australia or New Zealand for a long time. Only now Jigsaw is relaunching Troma in New Zealand and Australia. So thank the good Lord for Jigsaw.
But your films are available on Netflix and Hulu and those types of, where anybody can watch them at any time. Is it hard to get on those too?
No, because they don't pay you any money. Basically, we do that for our fans. That's only out of respect for our fans who have kept Troma alive for 40 years. So rather than take the crappy television deals that we've been offered, which are basically no television deals, we gave Poultrygeist. We premiered it on American TV on Hulu for free, rather than take a crappy deal.
We have to sit and watch through the commercials on Hulu for nothing. Then, I mean,
Pretty
if it's
much.
not helping you,
Probably not. It's helping our fans, hopefully.
Yeah.